Hi everyone, I am El Sir Pasco and I will be your reporter for today. Our report for today will be about challenging the war system. The word war is from the Frankish German word "wera", which means confusion, discord, or strife. The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy defines war as an actual, intentional, and widespread armed conflict between political communities. Political communities are entities in which either are states or intend to become states. War is classical or international if it is between states, or civil or internal if it occurs between rival groups or communities within a state. Aggression and major armed conflicts are interchangeably used with the word war. Aggression is defined by the United Nations as the use of armed force by a state against the sovereignty, territorial integrity, or political independence of another state, or in any other manner. A major armed conflict, on the other hand, is defined as a political conflict in which armed fighting involves the forces of at least one state and in which 1,000 people have been killed by the warfare during the course of the conflict. In 2008, there were 28 armed conflicts waged within 24 countries, 39.3% of which were in Africa and another 39.3% in Asia. Possible causes of war. Territorial disputes have been regarded as the more common causes of war. Dr. Henry J. Huth defines territorial disputes as the disagreement between states or groups within a state over where their homeland or borders should be fixed. It also pertains to the challenge a country poses over the right of another to exercise sovereignty over some or its entire homeland. The most notable territorial dispute in history would be that between Israel and Palestine. Other examples of contests in territory include those waged by the Moro Islamic Liberation Front in the Philippines and by the separatists in Basque Spain. A lack for tolerance for differences is an emerging source of conflicts. Differences may be in nationality, clan membership, ethnicity, or religious affiliation. Oftentimes, though, differences only aggravate an ongoing conflict which is normally caused by other factors, such as land disputes and political or economic repression. The tension between the Tutsis and the Hutus in Africa go back to a history of colonialism where one party felt aggrieved. Ideological or power struggles are sources of war in various countries. An ideology is a set of beliefs which serves as guide on how power should be allocated or how society should function. The wars waged by the Maoists in Nepal, the Shining Path in Peru, and the Communist Party in the Philippines, New People's Army are examples of ideological wars. A history of colonialism and the process of decolonization is one other cause of armed conflicts. Often, the transfer of power becomes problematic with groups within the country competing for control and authority. In Africa, widespread fighting indicates that the people have not fully recovered from the experience. Many countries in the continent have internal or civil wars. Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo are examples of countries in Africa that are experiencing long-running battles. Conflicts can also be caused by competition for resources, extreme abuse of human rights, desire of leaders to stay in power, narrow or extreme nationalism, and sympathy for kin across borders. The effects of war. The most horrible effect of war is death. The World Health Organization, or WHO, reports that one person dies every 100 seconds each day as a result of armed violence. The Penguin Atlas of War and Peace indicates that approximately 75% of those killed in wars today are civilians or non-combatants. Other sources estimate civilian deaths to be even higher, as many as 90% casualties. Wars also result in the commitment of atrocities, which are acts that go beyond what is tolerable because of the commonly held notion that in war, anything goes. Massacres, tortures, disappearances, sexual violence including rape, executions, assassinations, bombing, burning, and kidnapping are examples of atrocious acts. In Rwanda in 1994, 800,000 people were killed in 6 weeks, and many women who survived the genocide were raped. Wars also caused people to flee their homes. At the end of the 20th century, there were approximately 40 million people who left their homes to become refugees abroad or in their own countries for fear of war and persecution. The Internal Organization for Migration reported that the UN High Commissioner for Refugees placed the number of refugees in 2009 at 15.2 million, while the Norwegian Refugee Council placed the number of internally displaced persons at 27 million by the end of 2009. Wars cause weapons to proliferate. The total number of identified nuclear weapons in the world is 26,000, of which 12,000 are actively deployed, with 9 known countries in possession. The threat of use of nuclear weapons has increased in recent years. Wars have many other consequences. People lose their livelihoods and their access to food supply. Wars cause the loss of investments, destroy property and the environment, and raise opportunities for tourism. More so, wars disrupt children's education and create fear and trauma among the population. Peace education and the war system. The UNESCO preamble states that if wars begin in the minds of men, then it is in the minds of men that the defenses of peace must be constructed. Peace education is one concrete pathway to challenge war. As quoted by Dr. Betty A. Reardon and Alicia Cabezuto, peace education seeks to develop a global perspective on the problems and an understanding that humans are a single species. Peace education can help challenge thoughts that the world is divided into good guys and bad guys, and that winning over the bad guys is the way to go. Peace education seeks to teach the concept of oneness in the human race. Most divisions are socially and culturally constructed. And that concludes our report in Challenging the War System. Thank you for listening and may you have a nice day.